Welcome, crypto fam, to the number one daily Bitcoin pod. We're pumping back in the green. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, as well as U.S. listed Bitcoin Ether ETFs tally 38 billion worth of net inflows since launch year. We'll also be discussing Max Keiser was recently featured on RT, says Bitcoin is perfect money for humans to achieve full potential. Preach. We'll also be discussing U.S. government will not buy Bitcoin in 2025, according to the latest research from Galaxy. I'll be sharing the report, as well as here's how long Bitcoin can take before hitting a new all-time high, according to one analyst. And we'll also be discussing Bitcoin set to hit 350,000, despite the BlackRock sell-off fears, according to Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki, as well as $1 million Bitcoin price incoming by the end of the current cycle, predicts BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes. Just blaze. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Let's kick it off without further ado. If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes. Go ahead and subscribe, then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, including weekends, just like this. Today is pod episode 1862. I'm your host, JV. 3 days left until the end of the year, the final Sat Stack and Saturday of 2024. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Pulling up Coin 360. It's good to see the bulk of the market back in the green. Bitcoin flirting at around 95 G's, baby. We have ETH just under 3,400. Solana BNB in the green. Tron, Sui, and Cardano correcting and in the red. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. Current crypto market cap sits at $3.33 trillion. And the Bitcoin market cap is $1.877 trillion, 86 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance took a step back a little bit, currently at 56.5%. Ether dominance took a small, tiny step forward at 12.3%. Yesterday was 12.2. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Curve Dow, OKB, and Aave leading the pack. And we got some pudgy little penguins in there too. Now, which alts do you feel most bullish on for the bull, if any? Holla. And in between news, I'll read the comments to the best of my abilities. And check it out. The crypto bubbles, get a visual perspective on the day. Good to see the bulk of the market back in the green. And zooming out on the monthly, I'd say 60-40 red over green. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Today is 72, yesterday is 74, last week is 73, and last month a 77. An extreme greed. And checking out time chain calendar. We're currently on block number 876,768. We have 173,232 blocks until the halving of 2028. And you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,054 sats. And what better time to be stacking stats than on a stat stack and Saturday that just so happens to be the final stat stack and Saturday of 2024. Let's dive into some technical analysis. We'll do it a little different today. I'm not going to read you any TA. We're just going to go dive into it and look at the live charts. Why not? And we'll spend some extra time on that by pulling up some of the different time frames for you guys. Welcome everyone joining the live stream. Good to have you here. This is the final Sat Stack and Saturday of the year. So make some noise for that. And here on your screen, this is the Coinbase exchange. We use it because it's the number one exchange in the States, obviously. And this is via TradingView. This is the 1 minute chart. We do have a rising wedgie, my favorite type of wedgie, my only favorite type of wedgie. And we're sitting on a $95,800 target on the 1 minute time frame. We do have some bear targets, one at 94.6. Practically 150 shy of where we're at. And then we have more of a bear target at 93.8. And zooming out from the 1 minute, we'll take a quick look at the 10 minute. The 10 minute chart only shows a bear target in the red, which is sitting at 93,200. And zooming out from the 10 minute, let's check out the 1 hour. The 1 hour chart. Oh, thank you so much, Shandy. Special super just came in to manifest the passport success vibes. I definitely have to hit the gong for that one and wish you all the success in the world. And thank you for using such a divine number, such as 21, which is very significant in Bitcoin. As we all know, there can only ever be 21 million coins in existence. And also a 21 is a ace, which is an 11 in blackjack, and a 10, which is obviously a 21. So blackjack, this gong strike is for you. Bada boom, bada bing. But anyways, on the 1 hour chart, we do have some targets on the screen. We do have a bull target of 1076. Let me know if you feel we'll re-enter price discovery in the final 3 days of the month and the final 3 days of the year. Currently, it's at 1083, which is just shy basically of the target here on the 1 hour chart to enter price discovery. And checking out the 4 hour chart, the 4 hour shows you some bull targets as well, very similar to the 1 hour, sitting at 1076. We also do have some bear targets. The super bear target, there's a bearish pennant at 76,000. Personally, I don't think that is a probable scenario, but you need to be aware of all the possibilities, as you know what I mean, anything can happen in crypto. You already know. Zooming out from the 4 hour, we'll check out the 1 day. The 1 day chart shows you bullish momentum has been building up and stacking. We've had some corrective days, clearly, as you can see, and we're struggling to get back above the $100,000 hurdle, as you can see on the daily chart. And zooming out from the daily, we take a quick look at the weekly. The weekly chart also has a very bullish target, sitting at 124,000, which is a sexy cup and handle target. And you can see we finally had a bearish corrective weekly candle for the first time in several weeks since the Trump election pump. We have been pumping pretty fantastically, taking us from the 60s to the new all-time high, which is currently sitting at 108.3. And zooming out from the weekly, check out the monthly chart. You can see Moonvember, our best performing green candle we have ever had in Bitcoin history since the inception of the Genesis block in December. Itty bitty red candle building, but we still have 3 days until we see the tail of the tape and see how we end this epic year of 2024, year of the halving, year of the dragon. So there you have it. Let's discuss the Bitcoin ETFs and ETFs in general. Headline reads, US listed Bitcoin Ether ETFs tally 38 billion of net inflows into the launch year. That's right. US Bitcoin ETFs funds racked up a staggering 35.6 billion in net inflows since they launched January 11th, far exceeding the early industry estimates, while the spot Ether ETFs finished strong, seeing net inflows of 349 million in the last 4 trading days, reaching 2.6 billion since their recent launch. BlackRock's IBIT led the pack with 37 billion of net inflows, while Fidelity and ARC21 rounded out the top 3 with 11 billion and 2.5 billion, followed by Bitwise at 2 billion. Now, these net inflows smashed an earlier 14 billion first-year estimate from Galaxy Digital Research head Alex Thorne. However, the spot Bitcoin ETFs didn't finish too strong towards the year's end, seeing a combined 1.3 billion of outflows since December 19th, and 5 of the last 6 trading days were net outflows, with IBIT seeing the largest outflow of 188 million on December 27th and October 25th. The report exchange Binance found nearly 80% of the demand for the spot Bitcoin ETFs have come from retail, not the institutions. However, industry analysts such as the Bitwise Chief Investment Officer Matt Hugin expects to see more institutional involvement in 2025 when more clearinghouses for the spot Bitcoin ETF trading come online. It is one of the catalysts behind Bitwise's bullish 200,000 Bitcoin price estimate for next year, while Van Eck expects Bitcoin to top at 180 Gs. Meanwhile, the spot Ether ETFs closed the year with a total of 2.6 billion worth of net inflows since the Ethereum products officially launched on July 23rd, and excluding outflows from the converted Grayscale Ethereum Trust would bump that figure to 6 billion. Meanwhile, BlackRock's ETH-A, which is their ETF for Ethereum, and the Fidelity Ethereum Fund led the net inflows at 3.5 billion and 1.5 billion. The low fee-based Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust finished with the third place most net inflows at 608 million, while the Bitwise Ethereum ETH-W recently passed the 400 million milestone. And also, while ETH has underperformed Bitcoin and Solana thus far this year, Bitwise expects it to bounce back in 2025 to hit a high of 7,000, which is practically a 4,000 bump up from where it's at. Hugin and the Bitwise Bitcoin research head Ryan Rasmussen attributed the estimated rise to the increased activity on the Ethereum layer 2s, more spot Ether flows, and massive growth in stablecoins and real-world asset tokenization. And shout out to the high priest who was recently on RT preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi, quoting him here: Bitcoin is perfect money for humans to achieve their full potential. And notice that hat he's rocking. That's repping the Max and Stacy Invitational, which Chandy and I will be in El Salvador in less than 2 weeks, kicking it with the high priest himself. So show some love for Max. Let me know if you saw the interview. I reposted it on my X profile. So if you guys missed it, I encourage you to check it out. And that's that. Next story of the day, we discussed the latest with the ETF volume. Now let's discuss a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the U.S. Not so good news from Galaxy Research, because they don't believe the U.S. government will actually buy any Bitcoin. The opposite of what Trump proposed to us in his speech. So let's just break this down. I haven't read it yet. So Galaxy Digital's research division predicts that the U.S. government will not buy Bitcoin or any Bitcoin in 2025, but it will safeguard its existing supply. Let's dive deeper. Quoting them here from the report, the U.S. government will not purchase Bitcoin in 2025, according to Alex Thorne, the head of research over there at Galaxy, and they shared that in the report. Thorne said that instead, the U.S. government will create a stockpile using Bitcoin, which it already holds. While discussions on a Bitcoin reserve policy will continue, there will be some movement within the department and agencies to examine and expand the Bitcoin reserve policy. Let me know if you agree, disagree. And according to Spot On Chain, the U.S. government currently holds 183,850 Bitcoin, worth around $17 billion across various known addresses. And it's my understanding that roughly 100,000 of those Bitcoin belong to the Bitfinex customers who got hacked and is currently in the custody of the United States government. So that means they would then only own 83,000. So there you go. Now, Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis proposed the Bitcoin Act for 2024. If passed, would enable the U.S. government to insert Bitcoin into its treasury as a reserve asset by buying 200,000 Bitcoin annually over 5 years, accumulating 1 million Bitcoin, which it would hold for at least 20 years. Now, I hope Trump follows that plan that Cynthia Lummis laid out, but I'm also very skeptical just by nature. And Max doesn't believe that Trump will purchase the Bitcoin either. So we'll soon find out. Time will tell the tale of the tape, but anything can happen, family, because governments are corrupt. Keep that in mind. Another Galaxy analyst, JW, said there's a possibility that up to 5 NASDAQ 100 companies in 5 nation states may add Bitcoin to their balance sheets or sovereign wealth funds. I do agree with that, because I think the other countries are not as corrupt or not as stupid as the people in power in the United States, and most likely will adopt Bitcoin. Now, a stronger U.S. stance on Bitcoin adoption can trigger a race to mine or acquire Bitcoin amongst the nation states. We call this the global hash wars, which Max Kaiser coined many years ago. Quoting them here, competition among nation states, particularly unaligned nations, those with large sovereign wealth funds, or even those adversarial to the United States, will drive the adoption of strategies to mine or otherwise acquire thy biddy. Now, on December 26th, Japan's prime minister said that he does not have enough understanding of movements by countries like the U.S. and others regarding the Bitcoin reserves of adoption. Well, you'd have to go to Bukele. He's the man you'd talk to regarding that, Mr. Japan Prime Minister. It is difficult for the government to express its views. That's right, because governments are corrupt. Meanwhile, former Binance CEO, CZ, said China would be one of the countries that would adopt the strategic Bitcoin reserve. I wouldn't be surprised if Russia and China did that. What are your thoughts? And at the Bitcoin MENA conference in Abu Dhabi on December 9th, CZ said he believed smaller countries would likely be the first to adopt a Bitcoin reserve. And that's precisely who was the first to adopt it, was Bukele over in El Salvador, Bitcoin country. The Ark is Bitcoin country, thy savior. But the change could happen slowly. So there you have it. A lot of speculation right now. Will Trump adopt a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States? Will they not only stockpile the Bitcoin, but will they purchase new Bitcoin? Will they follow through with a plan of purchasing at least 1 million Bitcoin over 4 or 5 years, which would be approximately 200,000, 250,000 biddies per year? It'd be major if that happens, but a lot of very smart people are very skeptical of that, regardless of what the politicians tell us to our face. But time will tell. You let me know your thoughts and I'll read them out loud. Family, let's get it. Next story of the day. Here's when one analyst believes the next all-time high will be achieved. Jason Pizzino. So in a new video, he shares that Bitcoin is likely to stay below the record high of around 108.2 for more than 1 week. Oh no, what are we going to do, crypto fam? Stack sats. And according to Pizzino, the longer the Bitcoin consolidates below the all-time high, the stronger the upward move is likely to follow. Quoting the analyst here, I don't think we're in the midst of something like 6 months underneath that top of around 108.2. What we do expect is a longer period of time under the top, not more than 6 months, but longer than what we have currently seen. And what we have currently seen is 13 days underneath that top. The widely followed analyst says Bitcoin can start breaking out from the current all-time high beginning in the early weeks of the first quarter of 2025, quoting him here from the interview. So somewhere around the inauguration of President Trump, January 20th. So that might be some of the reasons that people get really excited as to why this thing should go up from that point. You know, Trump in, and then they start to get a little bit excited, and the cycle sort of rinses and repeats, and we get a nice upside. If that is the case, that is going to be a good move, or at least a good amount of time underneath this top of 108.2, especially as we have broken out into the new fresh all-time high. Basically, call it January for some sort of low, and then a potential breakout to a fresh new all-time high, which might come in late January or in February. So that's the big thing that I'm looking out for quarter one, 2025, according to Jason. And to watch the entire analysis he did, check the show notes below the video in the description and check out the video for yourself. Anyways, next story of the day, the latest from the rich dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Bitcoin is set to hit $350,000 despite BlackRock sell-off fears, according to Robert Kiyosaki. That's right. In a post, and I'll show you the post in a moment, Kiyosaki claimed BlackRock under the leadership of Larry Fink, go home and get your chime box, Larry, is currently offloading large amounts of the Bitty as he voices distrust over the asset manager's involvement of the Bitcoin market. That's because Kiyosaki at least has half a brain, and anyone with a half a brain recognizes BlackRock as an evil entity up to no good. The American author reiterated the views of the Republican Vivek Ramaswamy, who described Larry Fink as a shareholder capitalist an example. People who are focused on maximizing returns for shareholders rather than the stakeholder capitalists who consider the interests of the employees and communities. In this regard, Rich Dad further alleges that BlackRock is deliberately suppressing the Bitcoin price. I've been saying that for a long time, via the sell-off to allow the market whales to purchase at lower prices. Precisely. Never trust the BlackRock. Truly, data from Arcam shows BlackRock has recently moved 203 million of Bitcoin to Coinbase Prime, which is their custodian, over the past 2 days. However, it remains to be seen if BlackRock intends to sell these assets or just maintain ownership on a custodial wallet. Furthermore, Rich Dad advises against investing in Bitcoin via a BlackRock ETF, preaching a mode of direct investment in place. I preach that as well. I don't trust BlackRock controlled, Bitcoin ETF BTC, because not your keys, not your coins. I mean, the whole concept of Bitcoin is removing the middleman and not having government or entities or third parties in control, and you're giving that third party the control by investing in it. However, I do understand there's circumstances where maybe you run a big organization or company or a sovereign wealth fund and you need a custodian, and then maybe having exposure to Bitcoin through the ETF is better than not having no exposure at all. I totally get it. But if you have the opportunity to self-custody, there's no second best choice, because only properly self-custodied Bitcoin is unconfiscatable. That's the bigger picture, and that's what Mr. Rich Dad is trying to say. Ironically, BlackRock boasts of the largest Bitcoin ETF, IBIT, with $52 billion in net assets. Amidst rumors of a planned BlackRock market offload and Bitcoin ongoing price decline, IBIT recorded its largest market outflow ever of $188 million, which is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. They can purchase $1 billion in a day. So it's like, is that really a big deal? Probably not. Nevertheless, Robert Kiyosaki backs Bitcoin's robust bullish structure, despite BlackRock's alleged price manipulation antics. The author affirms his conviction to purchase more Bitcoin, which he predicts will reach $350,000 per Bitcoin next year in 2025. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and let's actually read the tweet. Larry Finkster, dumping the Bitty. Vivek warned Larry Fink of the BlackRock is a Marxist. Vivek warned Fink and BlackRock are shareholder capitalists, not stakeholder capitalists. Shareholder capitalists are Marxists, which is a precursor to communism, if you're not familiar with that term. Not a good look. Like Klaus Schwab, who state, someday you'll own nothing and be happy. We've all heard that one before. I love Bitcoin in my own wallet. I would not trust Bitcoin in BlackRock's ETF. I repeat, I love Bitcoin in my own wallet. I would not trust Bitcoin in BlackRock's ETF. Read my mind, Rich Dad. BlackRock suppressing the Bitcoin price so the whales can buy the Bitcoin at under 100K, precisely why we're under 100K today. I will keep buying more of the Bitty because Bitcoin is going higher. It's going up forever, Laura. I predict Bitcoin to hit $350,000 next year, 2025. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Rich Dad. Speaking of bearish targets like 350, JV's bear target, at least it's more bullish than Rich Dad. It's 420 in play. That's if we don't get the strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's if Trump doesn't follow through with anything he promised us. We'll see. I'm not going to judge him. I'm going to judge him by his actions. And we'll keep it 100 every day as we do. Now for our feature story of the day. $1 million Bitcoin prices are incoming by the end of the current cycle, predicts BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes. Just Blaze. I'm going to be sharing down his analysis here, breaking it down and why that's likely to happen, according to the BitMEX founder. So in a new interview with Anna Tutova, the CEO of Coins Telegram, Hayes says Bitcoin could hit 7 figures in about a year, which would mean at the end of 2025, quarter 4 or so, due to the massive expansion of the monetary supply from the government, ultimately saying money printer is going to continue to go burr, and that's going to send Bitcoin parabolic 10x from here. Quoting him here, I believe we can get to 1 million end of the cycle, $1 million, because the amount of the money that is going to be printed is going to be absolutely insane, as every government around the world does the same exact thing, which is print money to make my people feel happy because the global growth is slowing. I think that we're in a transition period of a global financial system. We are going to change it. The elites will resist the change, which means they are going to print a lot of money and more money that's ever been printed because they don't want the post-World War II U.S. And I know this word, how do I pronounce that? I know it's not how it sounds, so I'm not going to say it. But the World War II to change the world. Yeah, and asked how long the current bull market may last, maybe 2026, 2027 is my estimate, but who knows? He also says that while some altcoins have plummeted, the overall crypto market cap is so up compared to more than a year ago, indicating the upward trend remains intact. And quoting him again from the interview, the aggregate value of all the crypto has still increased over the last 12 to 18 months. So I believe we are still in the bull market. And there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with his $1 million Bitcoin price prediction. To watch it come out of the horse's mouth himself, check the show notes below the video in the description. Now for my personal predictions for the cycle peak, which I think will occur next year. Which quarter? I don't really know. But for 2025, JV's base case is a modest 4x from where we're at, 420 in play. And Max Kaiser's target's 2.2 million. JV's bull target, 1.1 million, but I hope to be proven wrong, and I do pray we hit Max Kaiser's target because he is the high priest, and he knows a thing about a thing or two when it comes to the iBitty because he started promoting it publicly on national television back when it was a quarter, back when you can get 4 bitties for $1. So all hail the high priest. Looking forward to seeing you in less than 2 weeks in Bitcoin country at the Max and Stacy Invitational. So you already know. Welcome, everyone, to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Meanwhile, you have these crypto channels like Crypto Banter telling you the Bitcoins reached the top. Yeah, those are the bear channels. Just ignore them. They're probably paid a lot of money to FUD Bitcoin, is my guess. I don't watch them either. I know what all the perma bear channels are. I don't support them. Later, fam. See y'all tomorrow. Enjoy yourself, Oracle, and thank you for tuning in, and happy birthday to the hubby. Bitcoin is the goal. Use the alt runs to max the things out. Does it give you orange pilling opportunities, or are they just enjoying the beer and the margaritas and not hearing the lyrics are different than the regular music? I'm all about the lyrics. US dollar, Zimbabwe dollar, same shit. I thought BlackRock would let Bitcoin go above 100,000 at the year end. Well, they did, and then they dumped it and suppressed it. They have too much control. JV, let's get to 2.2 million. What will people say about that true? Yeah, and when we hit 1 million, the same people that say we'll never hit 1 million are going to be, you guys are lucky. You'll never hit 10 million. Peter Schiff and them, the boys, you know what I mean, on bingo night. Peter Schiff and the boys in Puerto Rico on bingo night. Lucky JV. Never hit 10 million. I know that's annoying, but that's my impersonation of stupid people. It'll never happen.
Sunrise, sunset, hope alive. Bitcoin isn't a bet you have been told. Never forget, this is your chance to change the tides and make your own sunlight.